I think, when you're a young person looking to build a career, you just know that you're gonna have to go above and beyond. And, when you look ahead and don't see someone that looks like you, I don't think you feel particularly inspired or motivated to put in the hard work to join that club. And I think people naturally have this tendency, you look for people who look like you, and no one could find the names of a woman of color that was a sales leader. And, that was unnerving. I had a pretty accidental start in sales. Like, I didn't expect to build a sales career. I just went wherever, most college graduates in New York City went, which was on Wall Street. But, at that point, I've already made the decision that that was not how I wanted to build my career. And I noticed that every time I would submit my resume for something, like, recruiters would always try to push me towards analytical roles. And I think that there's also a bit of unconscious bias for someone that looks like me. I just found myself starting to remove accomplishments that showed that I was good at math. And I felt like I had to be proactive about changing people's perceptions around like what I might be good at. There tends to be a leadership ideal. And that leadership ideal tends to be an extrovert, tends to be someone who is louder, tends to be someone who talks more. For a while, I thought that it was something that I needed to change about myself if I wanted to get to my goal. And at the very least, I felt like I had to learn how to fake it. I think there is a misperception in sales. So in sales, people believe that the sales rep ideal is the extrovert. But I actually think the best salespeople are great listeners. So if you think about how the ideal salesperson is a great listener and introverts are great listeners, there are probably quite a few introverts that would be great salespeople. The buyer has evolved over time, their expectations has evolved over time. So the best salespeople need to make the buyer feel like they understand them and they get their problem. And those are exactly the skills and attributes that describes an introvert. And I think that's honestly why I was able to build a sales career. I think when I first got into sales, I was hoping that sales would teach me to be less quiet, and I just ended up becoming a quiet salesperson. And what I found was that it actually wasn't that important. People were successful not because they were extroverted, and it was much easier and it made more sense just to be true to who I was. When I'm true to who I am, I just came across as more authentic, and that authenticity really drove trust in building relationships.